Hi ladies, and welcome to my channel, Hearts in the Home. If you watched my last video, you would have heard that I'm expecting my third baby. And so today's video is very much inspired by that. I want to share with you some ideas of what you can wear when you are growing out of your regular clothes, but you're still too small for maternity clothes. There can be a bit of an awkward window, and depending on how your body develops with pregnancy, you might find this is a long period of time or it might be a short period of time. But either way, here are some ideas to help you look well dressed and put together even in those awkward transition months or weeks. So let's start with what I'm wearing, which is probably the most obvious option, a knit dress. It obviously has the capacity to stretch with your belly, and I've just belted this one up here. It's not specifically a maternity outfit, otherwise it would be a bit baggy at the front still, but it really does accommodate a fair bit of baby bump before you'll need to find something else. So this is one example of a knit dress, but for maybe a more in-between season, I'll show you another option. So this one's a little bit more closely fitting, but it still is accommodating my tiny baby bump very well. This isn't exactly meant to be a fashion edit in the sense that a lot of these pieces won't be stocked anymore, but just as an idea of what to kind of try on in the dressing rooms if you're trying to buy something new, or maybe just to inspire you what might be in your closet that you might still be able to wear. Now, another option you could do is to wear a jumpsuit. Now, I don't have very many jumpsuits because I'm a bit taller, so I've only got two examples to show you. But this one's a little bit stretchy, as well as it has a looser kind of cut to it, so it works very well. Now this one I wouldn't actually wear in public, which is why I haven't ironed it. I just use it as my gardening outfit, but I just thought as some variety to show you some different cuts. This one is a little bit closer cut, doesn't have quite the wide leg that the other one does, but it still works and it's still giving me enough room so that my stomach is not going to be under pressure throughout the day. So my next suggestion would be shift dresses. Now, they generally are cut rather straight and shapeless, but that really works well in pregnancy, especially if you use a belt or a tie to give you some definition over the top of your bump. Yeah, and this one doesn't look particularly roomy, but believe it or not, I actually wore it almost all the way through my last two pregnancies. So it did the trick without being overtly maternity-ish, if that makes any sense. Now, very similarly to the last dress that I showed you, this is a shirt dress, which is cut like a shirt, but obviously comes down long enough to make it a dress. So this one is good, again, because it's a rather straight cut. It is not defined around the waist, and just like the other one, it has a tie, which, yeah, it just gives it a little bit of shape. So this dress is really comfortable. It has this shirring across the front, which helps it just to sit nicely against the skin but not being too tight. The shirring continues all the way around, so it just fits really nicely and gives you a bit of shape, which, if you're anything like me, sometimes during pregnancy it's hard to feel like you've got much shape. So any dress with shirring around the bodice should work, especially the ones with the shirring that comes all the way. The bodice is entirely made out of the elasticated shirring with the spaghetti straps. That would work really well as well. I don't have any of those, but also anything with a really high waist that comes just under the bust should do the trick, because then you'll have enough room for your baby to grow. So this last dress that I want to show you is perhaps another obvious choice in the sense that it is a maternity nursing dress. It doesn't have the ruching on the side that often you find on a maternity dress, but it is made from a knit fabric that is very stretchy and certainly can accommodate the first and second trimesters. I haven't tried it in a third trimester, but I think it might be a little bit tight and might start to be a little see-through at that point in time. But it can be a really good idea to invest in some nursing pieces, because you will get a fair bit of wear out of them in the sense that you can wear them in your first trimester, but they're also designed to fit fairly well postpartum and obviously during nursing. So you typically would get a full season out of them at least. But investment is definitely the word, because nursing and maternity clothing can be very pricey for what it is. So this is one of the reasons why I prefer to buy non-maternity clothing and just try to make it work. Now I'm going to move on to bottoms, in a sense of leggings, jeans, skirts, all that kind of stuff. So if you're anything like me, jeans are the first thing to become unwearable during pregnancy, simply because I can't do them up. You can actually buy some kind of fastening just to fill the gap here. They've got like one button here and then the buttonhole here. It's like a triangle shape that you sort of tuck into the front. I'll try and find one online somewhere and leave a link in the description below so that you can see what I'm talking about. But I honestly felt that wasn't very classy, and a lot of my shirts at the time were not very long, so it didn't cover that, and I don't really want to show people what I'm doing to make my jeans fit. But on the odd occasion where I did want to wear a pair of jeans and I had a shirt that was long enough to cover it, I did end up using a hair tie, and sometimes even two, just to give it extra strength. And I just looped it around the button, threaded it through the buttonhole, and then back around the button again. And if you're going to give something like this a try, you might want to stick to the higher waisted jeans, because the zip closure doesn't sit too low and you have a better chance of hiding that with your t-shirt. I also had a pair of jeans in my closet that I never really wore because it was too baggy around the waist. It didn't come in at the waist at all. And so maybe just trying a few different pairs of jeans, you might still be able to wear your same size as usual, but you might just find that it gives you a bit more room around the waist. But if there's one thing that you're going to buy specifically for this season, I would definitely recommend just spending a little bit of money to go and get a pair of leggings or a pair of jeans or jeggings, something that will fit you well, that you don't need to hide the closure. That would really help to tide you over, and you can still look put together and well dressed even in this in-between stage of clothing. Anyways, moving on to tops. First of all, you can get some very wide cut shirts. You can see this one here is a little bit off the shoulder. The seam hangs off the shoulder a little bit, and so it's cut very wide. There's plenty of fabric, and thankfully it's also quite long. So I imagine this one is going to see me through a good few months still. So next up we have the drawstring waist. This goes for dresses as well as shirts. But I've just got an example as a shirt. But as you can see, the silhouette isn't too bad, and it's comfortable, and I'm hoping this one will last a little bit longer as well. I'll just have to watch the length, because I think as my belly grows, that's going to not give me a lot of coverage. But it's working for now. So my last example for a top is just something that is loose and flowing. This design is obviously not meant to be tight or fitted in any particular place. The feature is more on the neckline and the shoulder, the cold shoulder. So just something that's flowy could really help you through those early months as well. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this has been helpful for you. As I mentioned before, this isn't meant to be a fashion edit. Not all of these pieces are current, but I will link as many as I can in the description box below, so that if you particularly like them, you'll know where to find them. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best for your pregnancy. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really does help YouTube to know whether or not I have produced a quality video, and so your assistance in that would be very helpful. Until next time, bye!